Everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the range. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Tanfoglio Defiant Gold Match chambered in 10mm, and really what I'm going to be talking about is mounting a Holosun optic to the optics ready system that comes with this Tanfoglio handgun. So let's get ready and let's get to shooting. All right, so let's just take a look at the pistol that we're talking about today and the magazine. This is the Tanfoglio 6-inch Gold Match Defiant, and we're looking at mounting at this point a Holosun 507C onto the optics ready version. The optics ready version, you get a plate that can fit several different optics footprints, including the RMR, the RMSC, the Leopold Delta, the Seymour. There's a whole bunch that it can fit, and that's included in the manual that comes with this optics ready system directly from Tanfoglio. And this system is a pretty cool system. It's a single action only that I have, the Gold Match. I'll put up a link to the previous video where I reviewed this system, but today I really want to be talking about the optics mount and what it takes to get an optic mounted on it. In particular, I'm going to be talking about mounting the Holosun, which is where I have had a lot of problems. So much so that I'm actually redoing this video, and so you'll see that the dubbing and the words in my mouth don't necessarily match up with the words that you're hearing on the screen. So I'm just going to be taking some time to talk through what it took to get this system mounted properly. And in the end, I wasn't able to mount this Holosun 507C. I had to mount a different Holosun optic to it, and I'll talk about that later on in the video. So what you're going to see for me is me really going through this process where I mounted using the system that came with the gun to mount this Holosun 507C. But what ended up happening is those screws weren't really fit properly to the length of the depth of the Holosun 507C, and so they ended up stripping completely out as they worked themselves loose from the optics mount itself, and that caused a lot of problems. As you can see here, the optic is wiggling. And so what I had to go through is a process of just trying different screws, trying to get it tightened, trying to get it locked down. In the end, I discovered that system had been stripped out, so I really needed to switch to a different optic to get into the screws, a different set of a different part of the plate where I could use the plate properly. So we'll kind of just talk through that in the rest of the video. Okay, we got the optic mounted, hopefully right this time. Nope. And the plate's coming off again. Okay, continuing on the socket to get an optic mounted on that without it coming off. We'll see. Beginning to lose hope a little bit. So at this point in the timeline of making this video, I realized that I had stripped the screws or the threads within the optic plate that are used to mount the 507C. So I decided to switch to the Holosun EPS carry. Switching to that allows me to use a different set of holes that are pre-drilled in the optics plate and use those for mounting the Holosun EPS carry. The only thing next to do was to properly get the right size screws, which I had to use, and in this case for the Holosun EPS carry were M4 size screws. For the regular RMR cut, you need the M3.5 size. And then you have to figure out the exact length of those screws. The best way I can describe that is tighten your optic down on the mounting plate and make sure they don't stick through the bottom. I would even make sure they're a tiny bit shorter so you can tighten it down properly. I just used a Dremel to get them to the right length. With the exception of me here, there's a nice little group. Maybe slightly low, maybe. Probably me just pulling it, but yeah, pretty exciting. Let's see if we can get it out to 25 yards. All right, we're out at 25 yards. See where the optic is, where I am. It's usually more me than the optic. Okay, Let's go down range, take a look. I am pulling some. There's one. That might have been a different one, but I actually shot this target earlier. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11. So that's pretty good for me at 25 yards. So okay, so let's take a look. I think it's finally on. The optic is finally staying on, which is just huge. That's been a huge issue for me. I'm not a fan. I think they didn't use great metal in this mounting plate. I also think the screws that I had on here, and I had a 507C on here, I think they stripped out is basically what happened from the mounting plate. And so I kept trying to use that mounting plate, but there any kind of screws I put in. Also, again, you're kind of stuck with a plate here, which I don't love. I wish there was something that you could directly put onto there, but the challenge with the plate is this plate just ends in metal, and so you have to grind down your screws to just the precise amount to get the optic on. Again, this is meant for mounting an optic, but it's just not, working out. I ended up getting this EPS, Holosun EPS, which is what I love anyways. And this plate system uses several different mounting options, and the RMSC cut is in here, which uses the 507 47K. Has a couple of posts in there that you're going to have to potentially modify too. I'm not going to show that, not going to talk about that, but it is possible. You have to lower those posts a little bit, so you have to grind down the tops. But it is possible to be able to mount an EPS carry on this mounting system. It just is not easy, and you're going to be stuck finding the right screw sizes. Everything uses metric. Finding the right screw sizes and then getting them to the right length so that you can torque it down. Have enough of the threads in there, but not too long so that it hits the bottom of it. Not too short that enough of the threads are in there to hold in. I have to do a lot of testing with this before I really trust it at this point, because it's come off several times. Please let me know if you have a Tanfoglio. Let me know if you have used the mounting system that it comes with. If you've had success with that, what you've done. The time for a custom plate, don't know. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.